Action Comics 1012, Brian Michael Bendis writing with Simon Kudransky on the art.
Yeah,
What a
close
name.
enough.
What a name. So I was curious about what this would be with Leviathan going on right now. I was curious what Action would be doing on its own. And interestingly, it meant obviously Leviathan's a big part of this book, but it actually writes off Superman by saying that he's going to do the main Superman book. It says no, he's going off to with John for space adventures.
So,
So
so this is basically the Metropolis book. What's happening in Metropolis?
yeah, we get the criminals in the tank again. You know, talking
Hmm.
about Red Cloud, like fighting Superman and not
And
losing.
it seems like he's gonna make a move
Mm.
on I forget her name, but the main chick
Leon,
who's
I
now,
think.
yeah, Leon. So that's pretty interesting because you wouldn't think you have gang warfare in Metropolis, and now I'm wondering if Energang is gonna get involved. You know?
Yeah, and they know Superman's off planet because they see him leaving from the surveillance and whatnot. But they do reference that something's going on with Leviathan. That something weird is happening and everyone's been taken out. Um, we get a scene with Clark and Lois in the fortress before he leaves. And there's basically just some delightful banter here about the first time they met and how she's sort of joking that she's been working a story all these years. She's just getting a
Yep.
story about Superman. That's all it is.
Is it just me or has Bendis written them in bed a lot? Like they're definitely busy.
They're active. What could be said? They're both
Very, very, very active.
fine
Like
looking
this is the
people.
most active in my years of reading Superman. This is the most times I've seen this.
You know, when you get that kryptonite boner, you get that kryptonite boner.
I guess. But see, to me, I feel like it's more Lois than Superman,
Oh sure,
right? Like so.
oh sure. Also, Superman cracks a joke here where he pretends that he's went away and done everything in super speed and came back. He's like,
Yep.
okay, back now, and she's like, it's cute that you still think that joke's funny.
Yep. Well, because it is. Like I'm not.
It's pretty funny.
Uh, I was on Clark's side there.
Yeah. Do you know what I have to say? Like, I never heard of this artist before. I actually mostly quite like the art. I do think there's one or two odd faces, but for the most part, I think it has
Yeah.
a.
When it's not a close up, it looks great. But like those pages that are close up with Lois and Clark,
Mm.
Lois is not looking like Lois.
Nah, she
Like
looks a bit
it's
more. Oh, she just looks like a different person. It looks human.
yeah.
It's not like she doesn't look like a person, but she looks like a
No,
different
but it
person.
doesn't look like Lois Lane.
Yeah.
You know, like we've had in this book different artists and their takes on Lois, and it all you're like, oh okay. But here, not so much.
But I really like the coloring. I really like all the all the pages of the guys in the tank, all the dark panels of them, and all the shadows. I think all that stuff looks great. I like how the
Hmm.
fortress looks. So I mean, for the most part, I like how the style of the art overall feels quite good. It's just some of the faces when they're kind of centered, they kind of don't work as well. So yeah, Superman flies off. We go to the Daily Planet, and we have Good bantering with Trish and Perry.
Yeah.
She's looking for a story. They're also gossiping about Lois kissing Superman, so that's still kind of rumbling away in the background.
Yeah, that's and I love how they're like, oh, poor Clark.
Yeah,
Like he never stands a chance. So I like that they're playing with the, you know, the love triangle. That's not really. So, but even Good's like, yeah, poor Clark. Like, it's almost as if she suspects something.
yeah. I'm wondering how they resolve this in some way. Does Trish just always think Lois is a cheating wife? Is
Yeah.
that like where we go with this?
Well,
Interest.
because do you publish that in the gossip column? You know, like it's one of your own people.
Yeah. Well, she
You
did
know,
already, did she not? I feel like she did.
did she?
I think she
Hmm.
did.
I'll have to.
I don't know. That was obviously in a past issue. She mentioned that Good actually has like a freak out moment where her hand turns into the red cloud,
Yeah.
where she's like, "Oh shit, I need to hide this," and she's like, she drops the phone. Actually,
Yeah.
I like the sequence of how it showed this. Actually, it showed the phone fall, and then it's like, wait, why did the phone fall? And then you just see her hands like
Yeah.
red mist.
Well, I like too that it's almost that she's not thinking. So it almost tells me like she has to think and concentrate to stay in the form in her human form, and that her natural form is the mist. or is it Cloud? You know,
Yeah, maybe, yeah. So she goes to see this Rose, who has a bit of a
Rose.
Jekyll and Hyde thing where she turns into Thorn.
So are you familiar with this at all
Not really, I have to
from
say.
JSA? So back in the Golden Age, Alan Scott's wife, who ended up, being the mother of Jade and Obsidian, was this woman that had the same kind of deal, where she was Rose, and then she had an alternate personality of Thorn. And then after Crisis, or not even after Crisis, they took that idea and made it a Superman character, which is this, to where is as Rose, she's this nice, demure girl that lives in Metropolis, but as Thorn, she's this badass that goes out at night and fights crime or does crime, whatever she feels like, in the city. So I like that they brought this character in the way that they did it here.
Yeah, and I think the art did a good job of like having her face change.
Mm-hmm.
She
Because
immediately,
it's a different character, but
yeah,
it's the same character, and that's where Kudransky does a really good job. I can forgive the Lois stuff here, because when you get over to the Rose and Thorn stuff, it's a completely different character, and there's only subtle shifts. It's like the hair, in the eye a little bit, but
mm-hmm.
just it's a different posture. And
Yeah,
it looks
different
good.
posture, different expression on her face. The hair just feels a bit
Mm-hmm.
messier. Just all those little things add up to making her feel
Yeah.
genuinely different. Um, so yeah, so what should tell good again? Um,
But she's been fighting this. It's almost as if there's an invisible mafia in
yeah.
Metropolis, because she keeps fighting these drug dealers and thugs, but it almost seems like whatever she does doesn't make a dent. But she feels like they're not the ones in control. Like there's someone in control, but nobody talks about it. Um, which with Good, who's involved in this, now, it feels like someone's starting to get on. So who got sloppy now? And I feel that that's where the tension's gonna
Yeah,
come from with
she
Good and
because she goes back
this.
to Leon, of course, and says all this, and it's
Yep.
like, well, you were never mentioned by
Mhm.
name. She doesn't know who you are.
Right.
I do want to say though, I really like the double page spread where she's explaining all this, and it's this red,
Yep.
bathed in red, and it's just her like killing
Knocking
people.
dudes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
I also like the in between the panels. There's Rose and Thorns. So like when she's Thorn, the borders are all like rose thorns, like the stem. But then when she's talking as Rose, she is surrounded by flowers.
yeah,
And pieces that aren't thorns. So
and
it's a really cool thing.
the final couple pages is Thorns just we get to the end of this scene again. It's all bathed in red, looks really good,
Yep.
and she's finished like killing all these bad guys. And she's like, oh, "Sorry, Rose, you're waking up with blood in your fingernails again." And that's when the mysterious figure starts coming in, and
Yep.
the big reveal in the last page is that this is Leviathan.
Leviathan.
Yeah, that's whoever this is. We obviously don't know who Leviathan is yet, but in the
Put me,
mask.
put me firmly in the camp that Leviathan's not the bad guy. Like
Okay.
I feel like their Leviathan's methods seem like they're the bad guy, but when it's all said and done, they're actually going to restructure like all the different intel agencies throughout the DCU, and they'll actually be the quote good guys. And we'll find out that Sam Lane is bad, and the Wall, that's their actions have put them on the target. Because look, they're not actively going after Superman, right?
Yeah.
They just want to keep him busy. So I feel like if they were an actual bad organization, they would be actively targeting the heroes, and they're just not. So, and then especially after this, because we know Thorne's not like committing crimes; she's fighting crime. So why would Leviathan come to her?
And she's willing to go above and beyond what she's supposed to do.
Yeah.
She because basically what this final moment is, it's a job offer. It's like, how would you like to make a real difference in Metropolis? So Leviathan's recruiting. So and this is a fairly one and done issue. It seems to be setting up just that. So next issue might jump ahead a little bit, and Superman might be back. Maybe we'll have no Superman for a few issues. I don't know, but it is tying into what's going on in Leviathan though. So exciting to see.
Yeah, but no, I love seeing the Rose and Thorn and seeing how that plays in, and I love that Bendis is weaving Metropolis, much in the way that he did Hell's Kitchen. When you go back and look at his Daredevil run, we got to know all the little characters within. I forget his name, but he was Gladiator. He would make the suits. We got to see him and his relationship with Matt and Alias investigations and how she would interact and Luke Cage and all this other stuff. And now I feel that's what's going on here. It's very exciting.
Yeah, and we're a year into this run. I mean, this is issue 12 of the, of the since they took over properly. So we've had a full year of Bendis Superman now, which obviously is upsetting for some people, but it's been a pretty solid year of Superman stories for me. So I'm pretty happy.
And I like too that it's not just like if he's off planet. So this is the continuity guy in me. If he's off planet dealing with all of that stuff with Zod and Zar and his dad, then I like that he's filling in the gaps. This is what's going on in Metropolis when he's gone.
Yeah, this was definitely set before Leviathan, because Superman's back on Earth for the actual Leviathan book,
right?
Or is he actually? Because he wasn't actually there, was he? Because it was Batman, Lois, and Green Arrow.
Yep.
So he may
and because he was taken captive. Remember, as Clark.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, that was in the special. I'm thinking more issue 1.
Oh, that's right. They're melding together in my head.
Yeah.
So, because they came out so close together, but yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, he's probably off planet during all that.
Which is interesting.
And then we get Lois next week, so see how that plays in.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think more than anything, what you were saying there is that this issue, and the book's been doing this in bits and pieces as well as it's been going, but this issue more than anything, again, expands upon the mythology of who we know in Metropolis and sort of building around the criminal underworld. The other characters are going to get involved in that. It gives a little bit of time to Trish. Perry's there. We get a nice slate of the characters. Do you know what we've not seen for a while? We've not seen the firefighter.
No. I'm
Melody.
sure she'll come back into play.
Yeah.
I'm sure she will.
But I was thinking that as I was reading this, because I almost thought that when Good went to see Rose, I thought, oh, is that Melody? Until she called her by name, I was like, oh, okay then.
Yeah. But no, definitely. I can't wait to see what Bibbo's up to and all of this. So yeah, no, it's so good. I'm enjoying it.
All right, what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give it a solid 8.
Yeah, I'll agree with that score. 8 out of 10.